What's up, man? This is Rap Sheet Hollywood. We bring you the live as freshest commentary in Hollywood, but of course with a hip-hop flair. I'm your host, the incomparable Poop Diesel, and today, I heard people say that they called him an LA stalwart. They've called him an LA staple. I'm gonna let him decide what he wants to be called, man. You know what it is. I'm here right now with Glasses Malone in the building. What's up, G?
Man, I'm cooling, man. Just being the loc that I am, man. Being the loc that I am, big dog.
Bro, we were just saying off camera, man, before we really get started and everything, that I just respect the fact that you've been in this business and you found ways to reinvent yourself. You found ways to kind of still be relevant. Let's just talk about that for a minute, man. Like, people do consider you to be an LA staple or you to be around like for a while, man. Just talk about what's been part of Glasses Malone's success and still being relevant this many years in the game.
Really just, I think I got entirely too far with giving people 40% of who I am. Purifying it. I just been purifying who I am. I mean, really straining it out, getting rid of all of the politics, as we like to call it in the business, and all of the relationships that necessarily is Gucci, but it restricts me from being my purest self. Like, I think I was pretty miserable early on in my career. You know what I'm saying? When I first started rhyming, it was therapeutic. You know what I'm saying? All the stuff that like niggas had went through, it became real dope to get it out. And the mic became my therapist. But around 2008, 9, 10, I was just depressed. And I think I was depressed because I felt like people had me going in multiple directions and I wasn't able to be my truest self. Wow. I didn't sell out a lot, but I held back a lot of who I was for relationships. And that shit is torture. It's like Nip said something to me, rest in peace. He had texted me something and he said, did it make more sense to be at peace with the world and at war with yourself? Or did it make more sense to be at war with the world and at peace with yourself? And I'm option B. Like, I'd rather be at war with, the niggas I like and I fuck with than be at war with myself. You know what I mean? If it means that I can't tell the truth for you to be at peace, then, I'm playing myself. So it's me against the world, right?
That's interesting. You
appropriate,
said
right?
The world, right? Shoot, we're gonna get into that too, because you threw a lob right there. I could easily slam dunk that, but don't worry.
So his influence is so polarizing over my life. It'll come back again. It always does.
Wow. Okay. Well, look, we're gonna get into it, man. But I first wanted to just back up really quickly, man, and just look at, for some people that don't know Glasses Malone, man, like for you to be able to just explain it in your own words, like, growing up in LA, Watts, just kind of talk about, your upbringing and how that finally got you to music. You talked about it being therapeutic, but, for being in these LA streets, man, on the West Coast, being in California where, gang violence is real and you got to know the culture, you got to play the street politics, just talk a little bit about your upbringing, what I'm saying? Glasses Malone from Watts.
I grew up in Compton and Watts pretty equally. My parents broke up when I was young, so I pretty much stayed in both places equally. I really don't have anything bad to say. I think a lot of people have a lot more bad to say. I think it did more good in my life. I mean, I made one horrible decision, right? And then I made some questionable ones. But the experience is dope. I mean, I always felt like it was important. The more as I get older, I realized it was important to make sure I stayed in tune with my people, even in the most traumatic situations. I always stand up for them. Today I was reading Instagram post by what's his name? He's a real dope guy I follow on Instagram. He's a brother, and he teaches Black finances. Okay. He works under Claude Anderson, a couple people, and he had a post specifically. Hold on, I'm gonna find it for you. Here it go. Okay. It is Boyce Watkins, and I'm a big fan of Boyce Watkins.
Right,
I think
right.
Boyce Watkins have all kind of game. But he had posted on Instagram, it said, rap artists, if all you rap about is killing Black people, degrading Black women, abusing drugs, materialization, living a low life, you are not an artist. You are a blackface for white supremacy. You are being used to help destroy your own people. And I feel like that's one way to look at it. And it's a very uppity, I hate the word uppity, but I don't know a better word, uppity way to look at it. Like if that has been somebody's whole experience in his life, you feel me, being stuck in this community, right, where all you do is fight with other poor people for resources, where your experience with women haven't been pleasurable because they've been taught to seek successful men. And if you're not successful, you're not valuable. If you can only cope if your mom was on drugs and it's, you know, genetically passed down to you to where you feel incomplete without it, or you trying to deal with your friends dying all the time around you, and you fuck with the dope. You know, if everybody told you, you know, you grew up in a capitalist society and everybody said, if you don't have nothing, you know, then you aren't nothing. So you want to buy anything of value so people can see you of value. I don't know if I would call that, you know, just to degrade that. If you're just poor because your fucking parents is poor, that's a low life. I mean, you are still an artist. I can only agree with him if you know what you're doing. If you know that this is what you're doing. But it's too many brothers that grow up in our circumstances, you know what I'm saying? And this is their life. Like, how the fuck can you say they're not an artist? And I agree with Boyce 98% of the time. But I feel like growing up in Watts and Compton always kept me rooted, no matter where my intellect was. It always kept me rooted on my people and they struggle and what they feel is possible, what they feel is not possible, and all the challenges they go through. Maybe we don't have the same mental challenges. My mother wasn't on drugs. My daddy wasn't on drugs. But my other homies, they daddy and mom was on drugs. Some of them, their parents was in jail. All they had was these niggas raising them. All they seen is the only success they could see, feel me, is what was right outside. You know, a lot of niggas' computers is operating in safe mode. They don't have access to the internet. Everything is survival. It's all the bare minimum. It's all, you know, primitive means because you only thinking about surviving. So I think it's easy to be on top of a black hill where you have finances and look down and be like, oh, everything y'all doing down there is bullshit. So that's what makes me really great for all the experiences I had in Watts and Compton is I would never think like that. I never have been that far removed, and I'm not terrified of my upbringing. You know, I still go where I'm from. Yes, it's always a chance some bullshit could happen, you know, but fuck it. You know what I'm saying? It's the life we live. You know, I'm just not scared of it.
Well, that's crazy, man, because, you know, in LA, you know, you talked about a couple different things. You talked about what I think is the core of mental health. You know what I'm saying? Like you talked about your depression and going through things, even as someone who's reached some success in the game, still, you know, going through and feeling depression. And I just think that, you know, especially as Black males, that's something we don't really talk about. You know, it's kind of one of those things where, you know, you just gotta pull your pants up, you know what I'm saying? You better strap your boots up and just keep pushing. When really it starts to have an effect on you, you know, it starts to have an effect on people. And I think you speaking about that is something that definitely will resonate with the ears. You know, so we talk about credible messengers or people that got street cred to be able to talk about those messages. You're one of those individuals, man. And you've gotten accolades from people like, you know, Dr. Dre and Jay-Z and other people that have given you endorsements, man. Like, just talk about for a minute, man, for those that don't know how you got into music, you know, real quick. Like, you know, obviously, you know, there was, you know, Mac 10, you know, you were with, Cash Money. Just talk a little bit about, you know, your entry into the music.
So my entry into the business, more or less. I had a really dope marketing idea when I put out my first CD. I was on a great platform, Black Wall Street at the time when Gang was first coming up, G-Rod and Big Face 100. I can't speak to his genius enough. Really genius brother. And I had a dope marketing idea. Like I named my first CD after a product I was selling before I started rapping serious. And my name was attached to that product through different neighborhoods. So people know who I was just based off selling this PCP particularly called White Lightning. PCP is really yellow. This PCP was clear. It almost looked like water, like oil, like clear, but it was fire. And I knew it would be a hard sell unless I had some kind of brand attached to it. You know what I'm saying? So I named my first CD after that because that is what I got popular selling for in the streets. You know, that's what I got popular selling in the streets. So I named my first CD after that, and I took the same mentality. I went to everybody's neighborhood and I started getting them off. I had access to sound scans, was able to come up with a significant number of CDs I needed to move throughout Southern California, you know what I mean, to make an impact if the product itself was quality. And it worked out. You know, I had some really great people helping me make the music with my man Guido. We paid a lot of money for good production outside of the ones he did. I had Face and G-Ride, you know, who were really savvy when it came to business. And Face is an incredibly talented guy with records. Game was killing shit at the time, you know what I mean? So he had the perfect platform and it worked out. Mac 10 and Cash Money came when it was time to get into the business for real. And I met Mac 10 because I wrote a blog about Jay-Z album called Kingdom Come. And I was kind of defending people attacking him, saying it wasn't tight. And I was like, man, y'all can't get mad that this person can't grow. Like, you can't say the music ain't good because he's growing, you know what I mean? And me and him talked about that, and it was a dope conversation. And we just kept talking. Eventually we met up and he had an opportunity to sign me, and that's how I signed with him. He was kind of the closest rapper I remember being in the streets, having a lowrider when I was out there doing my thing with my lowrider. So it was dope, you know what I'm saying? And he wanted to go with Cash Money. Birdman loved my art, and that's how I really got into the business right there.
Wow. Man, you're dropping some jewels, man, because obviously, what would you say is one thing that you learned from Mac 10, you know, and then taking it on to your endeavors? What would you say something you pulled from him?
With Mac is how things supposed to look. Mac is the best at knowing how things are supposed to look. He's unbelievable with that. He knows what it's supposed to look like. And that's something I got from him because I'm not necessarily an aesthetically pleasing person. I don't really care about that. Like, everything is what comes out my mouth. He understood what it needed to look like, how it needed to look, the outfits, the cars. He understood all of that. He understood how to project, you know, successful LA life. From Birdman, I got work ethic. You know what I mean? That's the one thing I think Cash Money is really underrated with. They work completely different. And I've been around a lot of people, they work all the time. That's why they always in the race. You know what I'm saying? They never stop working, never stop working.
Wow.